well and see me
I
well?
can I can hear you perfectly well.
Super. Finally, I'm here with you. How are you?
Saying hello to Harry Potes. You are the best. You are the best, and thank you so much for your support and for joining the live sessions. I am so thankful.
Hi, Ari. Oh, that's Sabine, one of my students as well. Hola, Sabine. Hello. Thank you for coming. Oh, this is exciting. So many people I don't know as well joining us. This
Yeah,
is
it's great.
amazing.
And it's also great that, listen, we're both redheads. We have cats. I love your cats. I'm such a
Oh,
big fan.
and I love yours. They look so fluffy, so cute. I feel like squeeze them.
They are super fluffy. I'm very, very happy. And thank you all for joining. And thank you, Anita, for being here with me
No,
today. I'm
thank
so
you.
excited.
Me too.
So, for the ones of you who don't know her, she teaches Portuguese. All right, and we're going to find out a little bit more about that. But before we start, I'm just letting you guys know that this is going to be a bit like a tennis match. So she's going to ask me a question, I'm going to ask her a question, and we're going to play this like tennis. That
This is
cool?
amazing.
Happy day. So let me start with my first question to you, Anita.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us more about you, about your mission on Instagram and your social media, and where can people find you? Tell us.
All right. So first of all, my name is Anita. I'm Portuguese and I'm a qualified Portuguese and English teacher. Well, like making the story very short, I started to teach Portuguese as a second language right after I finished my qualification in a university. I call it by accident because it was actually by accident. I didn't look for the job found me. So it was kind of a test. Either you love it and you made for that, or you are in trouble and you have to find out what you want to do. I was so blessed. I was straight away passionate for this, and I could say straight away, no, this is what I want to do. But back at that time, because it was 15 years ago, 16, more or less, there were no resources, nothing, miss. So it was like, I was a bit lost, like, where should I start? What should I do? I'm not like the conventional teacher, so I don't really follow grammar books and, those kind of resources that are already made for everyone. I like to adapt my resources to every student's needs. Does that make sense?
Perfectly.
So yeah, it was amazing, and it's been an amazing journey. And I started to teach online as well with all of these pandemic situation, like 2 years ago, more or less, nearly 2 years now. Wow.
So
I was
you're active. So you're teaching English online, and students can find you on
Portuguese.
Instagram. But do you also have a YouTube channel?
Well, I started recently on YouTube. I'm still very small there. So yeah, but it's been good because people are always, oh, you have to do more videos because I love your videos. So your explanations. So that's what I wanted to do, like if people like the way I explain them, or, with my practical examples, so let's do it. Why not? So
Well, I think it's great. And I think the pandemic opened this door to the digital world for a lot of us who maybe, I know a lot of teachers who never gave Instagram a shot, or who never gave YouTube
yes.
a shot, and whoops, pandemic, and everything changed for everyone. So they all kind of moved, they migrated to the digital platforms, and now they're teaching either on YouTube or on Instagram, and
Yeah.
it's great. Hola, Adriana. Hola a todos.
Adriana.
Hi.
Yeah, but it was funny, Mrs. A, because I was very skeptical about it. My best friend was like, oh, you should, because when that happened, I was still in an international school. I was the pedagogical director, and I was still teaching Portuguese at the same time. So I was doing the two roles in the school at the same time. So I didn't have much time for anything else. But my best friend said to me, you should open an account on Instagram and you should start filming yourself, doing videos. And I was like, oh, no way, shut up, leave me alone. I swear by God, that was my first reaction. I'm like, are you crazy? Showing my face to the world, like I'm super shy. And she was like, yeah, I know I don't.
What changed? Like, what made you, a person who previously was like, no, I'm not going to show my face to the world, what made you decide to show your face to the world?
To be honest, I started to like it. I like the interaction. I like to speak to people, and look at me speaking to you, another teacher, and sharing ideas. This is amazing. The possibilities are huge of like communicating with people from all over the place, at the same time. It's amazing. So I kind of fell in love with that process, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. Super. I've been
and I have to tell you, your English is spot on. I mean, congrats there.
Obrigada.
Well done. Do you teach Portuguese in Portuguese or do you teach it in English? Or do you balance the two?
In the beginning, for beginners, for very beginners, I have to explain the grammar in English. Absolutely. Like I call it the base language because it's like more general, if we can say that as a general language. And it's a way of everyone understanding the main rules, etc. But with time, English will be only if someone needs like an emergency translation in the lessons or anything like that.
Maybe if they're levels, maybe if they're beginners, right?
Exactly.
The levels, I suppose, they're the same as the English levels. A1, A2, right? Oh, you got your mug there. That is so cute. Can you show me your mug?
My logo, specially made for me. And then with my website where you can find me. So it's really nice.
Look actually, at this. Yeah. Teachers, this is spot on branding. I mean, the branding we have to do, and we're just learning about social media. And we're learning. Well. Yeah. Amazing. So you've added your logo and your cartoon face to a mug. Do you have a t-shirt as well? Is there more merch?
And it's already a registered brand in Portugal already. I've done all the process, so yeah.
That's amazing.
Cool. I think it's going to be, how can I say? It's exactly, the expression, it's my face. In Portuguese, we say, é a minha cara. It's actually literally my face.
É minha cara.
A minha cara, yeah.
É minha cara. I love it.
It's a very Portuguese expression, yeah.
Whoa! So you went from nothing from zero to hero.
Well, I don't know.
Like from somebody with no presence on social media to being all over the place, being like on Instagram, being on YouTube.
Yes, Facebook as well. Building up my website now as well. Writing a book as well for people who want to follow my lessons with the resources I normally provide.
So you're writing a book. What is your book about?
It's about the process. Basically, you have all the activities from zero to intermediate, and then intermediate to advanced. So yeah, they can buy my own resources as well. What does it mean? This is my face. Exactly. La vegana. Yes, this is what it means. That's my face. Exactly. Someone was asking me.
Show her the mug again. Show her the mug again. So look, she's branding herself as a teacher on Instagram. So she created a logo and she's now adding that logo to merchandise, right? Like a mug, maybe a t-shirt. She's now creating a book. So she's associating her online persona and she's branching out.
I'll show you my eco bags as well. I completely forgot. So I have these shopping bags as well. Look at how cool. I normally share them with my students and my friends, so whenever they go shopping, they don't need to use plastic bags.
Amazing.
So look at this. Nice.
It kind of looks like me a bit.
Yeah, Absolutely. Look at this. We are like
Right?
sisters. Yeah.
Mine is the glasses, but hey, it
Yeah.
works. I love it.
Basically, thank
Hashtag
you.
gingers do it better.
Absolutely. I'm very proud to be a ginger. When I was a kid, that was to be like something like I was bullied in school because, being different, it's scary for the other kids. It's like, oh my gosh, why is your face covered in freckles? Why is your hair that color? Yeah, but then when you grow up, it's like, oh my gosh, I want your hair, I want your freckles. It's like, wow, okay. So we don't understand people, right? It's like we hate it when we're kids and then we superstars when we grow up.
So you suffered bullying in school
Yeah,
because of your looks. That is
yeah,
wow. I did
yeah.
not expect that. Look, Linguriosa joined. Elena, hi. I was live
Hola.
with her. I was live with her on Sunday, and
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited. It was so exciting. It was so much fun. I loved it. I
That's
absolutely
how
loved
I
it.
found you.
You
with
did.
yeah, that's how I found you with Língua Doce, because I follow her because she has done a video with Portuguese with Leo and I loved it. And I was like following her
Amazing.
and then I watched the live and I was like, oh my gosh, I love Mrs. A. So I started to follow you and oh my gosh, girl power, amazing.
Girl power, eh? Gingers
Teachers power.
do it better. But also, do you know what they say about us? They say gingers have no soul.
Mm,
Did you hear that one?
no, I always heard that we are, how can I say, more peculiar in the temper. Like people say we can't hide in our faces how we feel and but
Oh,
not, yeah. I grew
we
up with
also
that.
age worse, so there's that.
Probably.
Oh, that's fun. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you another question. All right.
All right, let's go.
You said that you don't like to use a lot of grammar in your classes. So I was just wondering, how do you teach? Do you plan your own lessons? Do you make up your own lesson plans? What does your
Yeah.
process entail?
So Mrs. A, basically all my program is designed by me and it is adapted to, I do small groups of students, so I don't have groups bigger than 7, 8. That's like the limit. So I can provide full attention to everyone. Plus, there are people who learn a language for various different reasons, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to adapt their needs, so you have to make it different, right? Because I'm not going to teach someone who's just coming here for a holiday the same way as I'm going to teach someone who's here for like working, for example, right?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I designed the program and I have every single resource adapted to the specific situations that I'm going to face, I'm a big fan of games and interaction. I wrote actually a thesis when I was in college about that. And I really believe that when you relax, you do learn much better because, you're learning a language and it's like your brain is fuming like, oh my gosh, what is this? I don't know these words. And especially when we are adults, right? Kids they don't bother. They're like sponges. They just don't even ask questions. They learn and that's it, right? But adults have this thing of, oh, I want to know why, but why is this like that? So there's a tendency for that pressure and, oh, I really want to know this. So people are a bit stressed already. So I try to make them relax and laugh and have a lot of fun using games and videos and, simple homework tasks like film yourself doing this, film
Well,
yourself
that's
going to,
very creative
yeah,
and it really helps. I mean, it really helps the
yeah.
classroom. I found that when they record themselves, they spot their mistakes faster
Mm-hmm.
and it just works. It's another way of learning. You're seeing yourself, you're acknowledging the mistakes
Yeah.
you're making and it's easier. It's just easier to learn. That's pretty good. So who wants to
Plus,
study Portuguese?
oh,
Like what's the
that
profile of your student?
I have, I could I could tell you like that this has to do with the fact that Portugal became, that very popular destination in the last few years, especially what's going around the world, right? People are looking for that quality of life, that place where they can have the weather, the food, the culture, that quality of life that they don't have like in a big city. And when big cities, I mean like, for example, New York, Chicago, places like that in the States or even here in Europe. But it's always gray, and people started to look for a different lifestyle. So it's been crazy, the boom of people who are moving here, right? So I
Wow.
have people who simply want to live here because they are retired. So I have people, a big percentage of people between the 50s and the 70, 75.
Oh,
And
wow,
I
that's
also,
amazing.
yeah, American.
It's
So,
the golden age. I love it.
yeah, German people, Dutch people, Americans, English, Irish, Scottish, around 23 different nationalities I have so far.
That
So,
must
yeah,
be, wow, that's
yeah,
amazing. So
yeah,
obviously, for all of you guys watching, it's not the same teaching, like in my case, for example, it's not the
no,
same teaching English to a Spaniard as it is to somebody from Finland or from Japan. So everything's different. You have to assess the student, assess their academic needs, like control the complexity of your vocabulary to suit the
yes,
academic needs of your students. And it's hard work, because when you have
yes,
to teach to one profile, that's fine.
yes,
You know how to do it. But when
yeah,
all of a sudden ESL teaching, that's that. When you have to start teaching Portuguese or English to multiple cultures, it's quite the learning curve for the teacher as well.
yes, absolutely, yes. Oh, Dina, I can learn a little bit English today with you. Yes, Miss Dina. Good
That's
idea. You need to,
great.
yes, Dina
That's
is
great.
she's also a Portuguese teacher, and we have like
Amazing.
a partnership. So we do like a lot of dialogues, like videos for people to see how we really speak to one another in Portuguese. You know what I mean? So real talk. So we do a
That's
lot of those
nice.
videos together. Yeah.
Pretty
So it's
good.
amazing.
So on one hand, you have the students who are, let's say, people who are retired, or they're
Hmm.
looking to make a home where you are, right? And
Yes,
because, it all happened later in life, they're just starting embarking on the
yes.
journey that is language learning. And on the other hand, what kind of students do you have?
So I also have a big percentage of people who are looking for a better opportunity regarding working in Portugal,
Yeah.
especially people from Asia side of the world, you know what I mean? And they're trying to move here. So they need to do or to prepare themselves for the couple exam, the one that they need to achieve the A2 level for citizenship.
All
So
right.
it's a
So
bit
it's the
more
same. It's the same.
as you do. Yeah, but you do
When
it in
I
English?
applied for the Spanish citizenship here, because like
Mm-hmm.
for the people watching, I'm an ESL teacher and I live in Spain, but I have applied for the Spanish citizenship, and I had to do a language exam, and the level they requested was an A2.
See,
So it's the
exactly,
same.
same thing.
It's the same. All
I'm
right.
curious, what's your nationality then?
Well,
I
I
thought you were
you just
Spanish.
you thought I was Spanish?
For some reason, I don't know, because I heard you speaking Spanish and you spoke so well that I was like, oh, she must be
This is
Spanish.
another one. Thank you. No, obviously I'm an English speaker, but to know more, please visit my channel
I
and you'll
will
find out
do.
more.
Mm-hmm. I've been there.
Exactly.
YouTube, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
can't
need,
believe I learned, like, I'm a Spanish student. Like, I learned Spanish like everybody else. I've been living in Spain for 13 years already. So,
ah. Yeah, but your accent was amazing. I would never say you were not born in Spain. You know what I mean? Very, yeah, yeah. I
Thank
swear,
you.
I really thought you were Spanish. That was my assumption. I should not
Oh my
make
God,
assumptions,
I'm
but
so thankful. I mean, thank you so much. This is great. I mean, you're not the first to, to tell me this, and I'm like,
okay.
I'm flipping out every time I hear it because I know I'm making a lot of mistakes, but I do believe in trying hard, and I'm proud. Like when my students can see that I can speak Spanish, I can teach by example. Listen, guys, I learned Spanish the way you're learning English. If I could do it, so can you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
Everything is possible. It's all in
that's
your mind, in your motivation.
the fun part because you can do it. Like you can try and learn a language and become well. I don't consider myself proficient in Spanish, but I think it's decent. I think my level is decent. I can have any sort of conversation,
Mm-hmm.
um, general conversation. Because if we get into specifics, I might not do so well. But yeah, that's cool.
Okay, that
That's
was
very
so
cool.
cool. See, we are Pandora boxes, huh? Pandora boxes, full of surprises. That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, so we have the professional students who want to study Portuguese and move to Portugal. What's big in Portugal right now? Like what are the developing businesses?
Tourism, basically.
Tourism. All
Yeah,
right.
a lot, a lot. Well, I think now it's going back to normal because with the lockdown, that was like hard, you know. Everything
Yeah.
was closed. It was quite sad. But I think
Did,
now everything is back in business and it's starting to grow again. So, which is
yeah.
good.
Did you suffer as a teacher during lockdown? Also, sorry guys, I think my neighbor's dogs are going
No,
crazy.
it's fine.
So
Don't
I
worry.
apologize for that. I'm really
Well,
sorry.
to answer your question, not at all. It was the other way around. For me, it was a big boom because people locked in the house. They wanted to do something useful with their time, you know. So they started to learn languages. They started to be more online. So for me, it was when the big boom was given, you know. So for me, it was
Wow.
actually good. Yeah.
Hi,
What about
Caesar.
you?
I'm not going to call you Cesar. Caesar. Sweetheart, your name is unpronounceable to me. I'm really sorry. Cesar. How do you say
Cesar.
his Cesar? You see, I can tell it like the Portuguese. I can say it like the Portuguese, but I cannot say it like the Spaniards. They say Cesar.
Cesar. I can say it as well. It's so
Right?
difficult. Yeah, they
It's
said,
hard.
yeah.
It's pretty hard. So how is the migration? Like in your case, you've migrated from, I believe, regular traditional education, traditional ed to online classes. How was that?
It was hard. I used to hate it. It was
Really?
like, yes, it was like, so I had to basically, I was like a very interactive presidential teacher. Like I was there, used to be, you know, close to my students, you know, face to face, body to body, like
Yeah.
we say, right? And I'm very affectionate with my students normally, you know, because I was teaching kids and the adults were only on Saturdays, like my own group. But in the international school, I was used to this interaction. And then I had to adapt every single thing. It's like, okay, imagine, it's like you have to be born, right? It's like you have to start everything from scratch because all my lessons were designed in a way of, you know, face-to-face interaction. And suddenly, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't really know any cool programs in the computer to make this as interactive as I would like. What do I need to do? So I kind of freaked out a little bit there. And I was a bit not depressed because depressed is not the word, but I was scared. And every time,
Maybe overwhelmed because like
yes,
going from not using the computer for classes to suddenly having online classes. I mean,
everything, yeah.
that can be challenging for somebody who's never done it. in
Yeah.
our case, ESL teachers, English teachers, in our case, I can safely say maybe the only good thing brought on by the pandemic was the awareness that
Yes.
online classes are cool, and they save
Mm-hmm.
you time and they save you a lot of hassle. So I've always had online classes. We've in Spain. So when you live in a big city in Spain, it's okay. You've got your language academies, you've got your private tutors, you've got everything. So it's not the same in the villages, in the remote small villages scattered all over Spain.
Yeah.
So those students, the ones living in the village, they've always kind of worked it out. They're like, oh, okay, I don't have an academy. I don't have access to a private tutor. I'm going to look for one online. So me personally, I've always had online classes, always,
So
which
that's
is
good.
why
Yeah.
which is why it was great. But I'm also glad that given the pandemic, more people had to experience online classes and they got to see, wow, they're really great. I can do everything except, getting touchy-feely with a teacher or,
Yes.
touching an arm or whatever. No, guys, no can do, especially now with the safety distance and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
we cannot do that. So, but great. I got students that I used to have in private classes, face to face, and now they said this year, listen, I had such a great time having online classes that I just want to continue online, and that was great.
Yes, I agree with you. And it gives you the opportunity to teach people from all over the world in that period of space all together. And they actually, people say sometimes, oh, before they actually try it, they say, oh, online classes, no, but I want to meet people. You do meet people online. Most of my students, they are friends now. Listen, not next Friday. Yeah, next Friday we actually doing a lunch for some of them of a particular group, and now they're friends. It's so
Yeah, like
funny. This is
this is
amazing.
how do you? So help me understand this. Because my online class formula, because I do personalized education and personalized teaching, I
Mm-hmm.
will accept one, two students online, but not more.
Mm.
So if I have more than two, I say no. I don't think I can personalize the class and give them as much attention as I could, given that the class is online. So I will not take more than two at a time online. Do you take more on?
Yes, yes, I do. Especially if they are beginners. I have normally 6, 7, and then with time you start to do it differently. But they can
Wow.
start together, especially with the pillars of the grammar, the basics. They can go
All right.
together, and then you start to realize. And to be honest with you, Mrs. A, I actually, I'm very intuitive sometimes with people, and I feel if they will be like well together, if that makes sense, like in the
Yeah.
same group, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of study people before I do put them in the same group, to be honest. So far, so great. Like I used to say, it's been very good, and it's really, really being super well. What happens sometimes is that, for example, if a student gets a bit more advanced than the others, or wants to learn faster, or for some reason wants to slow down, the other way around, it can happen as well. I move them, and then I'll reorganize again the plan for that specific student. But yes,
Wow.
normally 6, 7 for beginners, especially for beginners. Advanced, intermediate, 4, 3, okay? And because it's different, it's already conversational, so you want to have them to speak more. You want them to have the opportunity to participate more as well, so you do it a bit smaller. But
That's
yes,
pretty
normally.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I'm going to go on with another question. Since
Go
you're not
ahead.
asking, I'm asking all the questions at once.
Okay, I can do mine now as well if you want. You've done one or two. Actually, you've done so many now. Let me do one to you then.
Please.
I'm curious to know what brought you to teaching. Tell me your story, the story behind Mrs. A.
The story behind Mrs. A, because I'm like Madonna. I have a stage name.
I
You
love
were
that, I must say. Never me
you were
laughing in our message. I love it.
Yeah, because a lot of people are asking, okay, so like what's your name? Do I call you Mrs. A? Like, what do I call you? Yeah, call me Mrs. A. I took this as a stage name.
I love it.
And I'm making it
Girl
work.
power. That's it. I decide how am I going to be called. Amazing.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, I work with teenagers, and of course some of them are obviously they're minors, so I don't want anyone to be affected by my presence on YouTube and or on social media. So
Yes.
I don't like to disclose several workplaces, or I don't like to disclose my name or where I live
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So these are things that I try to stay away from. But I think people can accept to regard me as Mrs. A, and
Yeah.
that's that, because at the end of the day, my mission here is to teach, not to invite you all in my bedroom.
Exactly. There you go. I agree with you.
Right? So yeah, and that's it. And how I started teaching, it was like you said, this is a job that discovered me. I did not discover it; it discovered me. And it must be hard. The fact of working with teenagers. I mean,
Yes, it is.
I love it. I love it. I
Me
really
too.
love it. I cannot work with kids. I'm not skilled at it. I don't have what it takes to be a successful teacher for young learners, very young
Me too.
learners. I'm sorry, I don't have what it takes, but I am very skilled when it comes to teenagers and adults. So I think the secret with teenagers is basically respecting them, just respecting
Yes.
them. Teenagers are not gonna, you're not gonna walk in and they're gonna respect you because you're what? A teacher. No, you
Teacher.
have to
Yeah.
earn their respect and you have to respect them. And I think, once that very healthy mutual exchange is achieved, anything can happen. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. How about you? Can you tell me a fun classroom experience?
Oh my gosh, fun class experience. Well, every time I go into a classroom, it's always fun. Something always happens because I'm a very, how can I say, it's very easy to make me laugh and to make me have fun, to be honest. But I remember a funny episode, not directly to me though, but to one of my colleagues when I was in the international school before. So before I was just like online. And she's super scared of spiders and, to be honest, like insects in general, but especially spiders. So the kids knew that. I think that was year 9. So they were about 14, 15 years old. They're quite cheeky. And I was the tutor of that class, so I was in charge of them. So what does she do? Oh, but basically, before I get there, basically, she texted me using WhatsApp, and she was lucky because I had my phone on my desk, and I took a pic at the phone, and I was like, oh, what's going on? And she was like texting me, please come here, hurry up. But then she didn't tell me what was that about, right? So when I got in the classroom, they were all laughing, like literally all laughing, like, ah, Miss something, I'm not going to say her name, Miss something is very scared. And she was on the top of her table, basically, because she was super scared. There was a huge spider. That
Well,
was a
wait a minute. When
huge,
you say huge spider, what does that mean?
I would say the head of the spider was like the size of my thumb, basically. So for
Oh,
us
wow,
here in
that is a
Portugal,
big spider.
yeah. So basically she was like sitting on her desk like, oh my gosh, Anita. And I said, what? And I started to laugh as well because, oh my God, look at you. They're making fun of you now. Like, oh my gosh. So
Isn't that
basically,
funny how like kids and teens, they're not afraid of anything. You
No,
show them a rat, you show them a spider, they're like, yeah, I'll touch that. And we're like
Mrs.
all grown
A,
up and
you know I did not scared because they were the ones who put the spider in the room to scare the teacher.
oh wow. So like
Yes,
guys,
I was
don't
like,
scare your
but
teachers. Teachers are nice. They're people too. I mean, this
oh my
is
gosh. Good thing is
look what
that
they're saying. Look
she
what they're
has
saying in
a
the comments. I fear of spiders and cockroaches as well. If I see one, I could be heard in the whole
the whole
building.
building, exactly, just like my poor colleague. Yeah, but it was fun because she, she's that type of person that has a great sense of humor, and we end up all laughing, like, "Oh, guys, come on, seriously, you bring a spider and you think you're gonna stop the whole class? I'm here now, so
So
let's continue. Chop, chop."
considering considering that we're getting close to Halloween and all that, if somebody wanted to scare you, what would they bring to class?
Snakes. Totally snakes. I don't really fancy snakes.
You're being so truthful. I love that about you. I would have said Henry Cavill. Now go and
Oh my
find him.
I have some issue with reptiles in a general way, although, well, it's like this. I've been in contact somehow with snakes in the past. I saw like a big anaconda already in real life, like in
You
Barbados, and
did.
yeah, they have like places for you to see these reptiles, for tourists, etc. And it's not that I start screaming. It's just like, oh, don't get too close to me, because I'm like, oh, so cute. I like all the animals. For example, that time with the spider, I grabbed like a sheet like this and I put it away in the nature. So I'm always the nice one, putting them back in their habitat. But with snakes, I do struggle to know what to do, like, okay, I kind of freeze a little bit. So yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do if I saw a snake. I would not,
Oh,
like, I'm not
run.
afraid of snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes and I'm not afraid of rats. Show me a cockroach and I'll die. And even flies, I'm just disgusted. But rats and snakes, there's just,
Yeah.
I'm not scared. So I wouldn't know what to do, but I'm pretty sure, at least I know I wouldn't get close, right?
Yes,
Like
exactly.
my initial reaction would not be to like touch it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Same with me with the snakes. I would not pet a snake for sure. Never.
You would not pet a snake, good
No,
girl.
no, not really. I don't
Happy
fancy
days.
that. I could pet a shark, but not a snake. I'm a strange person. I know. I could pet everything that has to do with the ocean, the sea, but reptiles, oh, I do struggle. It's hard for me.
Well,
It's hard to,
everyone has some sort of a fear or something they
yeah,
don't necessarily know how to
like,
explain,
yeah,
right? So you
exactly.
said before you've seen this snake on vacation, so you're well traveled. You've traveled, you've seen the world. Have you lived
Yes.
in another country?
I worked for several years in and out, but I cannot say that I live in a different country. I used to spend a lot of time in Scotland and England as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
yes, but I've never actually lived there, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
yes, I've visited quite a few countries already, and I think traveling, it's very important. Not just, oh, great, cool, I'm on a holiday. No, it's because we need to be aware of life is in other locations. How do people live? How do people behave? How do people speak? What do people eat? I'm curious about that. I'm a
Yeah, it's just
storyteller, so that
another
is important
just
for me.
another cultural perspective, right? Traveling and
Absolutely. Yeah,
getting to
yeah,
know other cultures and how
yeah,
they live and their likes, their dislikes, the way their infrastructure, everything.
yeah, yeah.
So did you
It's
experience, this is a question I ask all of my guests. Did you experience culture shock while abroad?
Oh, yes, definitely. The most obvious one, I think it was in Dubai. Well, Dubai, like more than
I've
15
never
years
been.
ago. Well, I've been only once, and that was like not on holiday. That was like in working. And I've been for 6 or 7 days. That was a short visit, but it was enough to see it and, like to know what Dubai is like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
what happened to me was, because Dubai was obviously 15 years ago, it was very different from what it is right now. Right now, they're very used to the foreign people going there, tourists, etc. All of these things are adapted to the tourists, right? But what happened was I was not very well informed, and that was totally my fault. I was not very well informed. So I thought that inside, like in the hotel, you could be just yourself. You know what I mean?
What do you
And
mean, like by yourself?
I mean, like you could wear whatever you like,
Oh,
you
right.
know? So for example, and you could wear whatever you like as long as you adapt it to, certain rules. For example, the first morning after I arrived, because I arrived late in the evening, so I didn't quite realize how was the dynamic outside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I came down for breakfast, because it's a hot destination, I was wearing short shorts, like
Yeah.
I would wear in any place where you have sunny weather, nice beaches,
So
etc. And
you
I
thought it would be a great idea to wear shorts in Dubai. How did that end?
exactly. That was very bad because in the lobby before I went down to the restaurant for breakfast, everyone started to stare at me like I was like, oh, I should be ashamed of myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was, for me, it was like, what? Thank God it only lasted like around 5 to 10 minutes because I'm a very curious person. So I went to the reception desk and I said to the lady, I'm sorry, but is this the behavior that people stare at you like normal? I'm feeling very bad. Please be honest. Is there anything I'm doing or that I should be wearing? I did ask, and she told me, yes, miss. She said, you really need to perhaps consider to change your shorts for long pants or something a bit like more formal, if you know what I mean. And I said, oh my gosh. And then she gave me like a
When you
booklet.
say more formal, as in,
Covered.
okay, yeah,
Covered.
yeah. I
So
was
she gave
trying to
me,
rephrase it,
yeah.
but yeah.
And then I felt so stupid because that was totally my fault, Mrs. A. Basically, I
Yeah,
should
but
have.
like let's I understand that you're visiting another country. You are the one who needs to adapt to their
Yeah.
customs and so on and so forth. I do understand that, but when you're a tourist, you don't necessarily know the ins and outs of
Yeah, but things, unfortunately,
everything.
at that time were a bit different. They were not very used to that. Plus, I think my hair does make it easier. People do stare at us more. I think our hair calls people's attention a lot, so that didn't help as well. I was not very discreet, probably for that reason as well. So
Wow.
she gave me like a booklet with rules, like of places that I could go alone or not as well. And she did help me a lot. And I did apologize. I said, I'm so sorry. And she said, no, no, no,
So
it's
let me
fine,
get this straight. You went in Dubai of 15 years ago. We don't know how much it's
Mm-hmm.
changed, and we don't
A
know
lot.
what's allowed now and what isn't. But Dubai 15 years ago, it was frowned upon to wear shorts. So as a woman, you'd have to wear a long dress or pants or
Yeah. Normally they suggest that you do, especially in public areas. Yeah, that's what I was told, that it was like that. Even though I was a tourist, you should be careful. So you don't want to be looked like, oh, look at that. Like they were looking at me all the time. Like I could see people whispering, that was like, oh my gosh, looks like I'm in a movie where everyone plans to make you feel bad.
Whoa.
So yeah, thank God I went to ask, and I didn't spend the rest of my day like making a fool of myself. And yeah, I started to be after that. To be honest, I started to look around, and I could see other women like having pants, or and yeah,
That
it.
has to be frustrating. And
Mm-hmm,
also, sometimes we don't know. We would apply to the customs if we had a clue. But
yeah,
sometimes, maybe we're
we
just
don't.
passing
Yeah,
through or we just don't know the protocol.
yeah,
We need to start looking at these things before traveling. I remember my best friend staying in Korea for a long time, and she said at the beginning she could wear shorts, very
yeah.
short shorts, right? Extremely short shorts, short shorts.
Short
So
shorts. I love that. Yeah.
yeah. So, and that was okay. But when showing off her shoulders,
Yeah,
then that
that
was
was
a
the problem
problem.
as well. I was wearing some sort of tank top as well, where my shoulders were actually showing. And I think that was a bit of, the reason why people were looking at me as well. I could realize that. And then I think it was also the first time that I've been somewhere where I've seen actually women wearing burqa. So when I went to the mall in that same holiday, it was the first time I could actually see what you see in TV, like the ladies wearing their burqas, and you only have like a little window there with some
Yeah.
sort of black net there, and you don't even see their eyes properly. And I remember kind of freezing that moment in my mind, like, wow, I remember that thing, like, wow, this really happens. There are really people who have to wear this. That was like, yeah, get real, girl. This is real.
This is real.
And
This is like
yeah, wow,
an
yeah,
arm
it's,
length away is happening really close to you, and this is you're
mm-hmm.
witnessing it. Yeah.
So
It's really
yeah,
hard for somebody from Europe to grasp the concept
yeah,
of burqa and wearing that. It's hard because it's
yeah,
just not, you don't see it here. So it's not that you don't respect it. Yes, you respect it,
yeah,
but
of course I do.
anything that you don't see is a
It,
surprise when you do
it's
see,
exactly
right?
like I told you. It was that first, I don't know, I felt like I was frozen in time with that moment, like, wow, yeah, because it's some sort of, it's wow, it's magical, you experiencing that for the first time, and you realizing that is so different from the way you grew up, right? Because you
That's
are like,
it.
you can wear whatever you like, and
That's
then
it.
it brings you to reality. Oh wow, this is amazing to see the difference between me, occidental country, and them, right? It's wow. But yeah, I
It
do
does the
respect,
difference. Yeah, the difference is in the habit. We don't get
mm-hmm.
to see it, therefore we're not used to it. For somebody living there and growing up over there, it's the most natural and normal thing in the world. For us, it's just not usual. We don't get to see this over here, so it's always a bit of a surprise because I think we're thinking, oh, they must be hot underneath, or is that comfortable? I personally would like to try one to see if it's comfortable, how it feels. Just I would like to try it. Did you try their clothing?
No, I didn't have the time to experience everything properly, unfortunately. But it was great. It's always, I call it traveling. It's a learning process. It's part of
Yeah,
who you are. These stories that you have to tell after. Look at me now telling you after 15 years of experiencing that,
exactly.
how important that was for me to realize that, the difference of cultures that we have on the same planet, right? I find it, to be honest, I find it amazing. And again, I think it's a learning process, and everyone should be able to see a little bit of the world,
Have
somehow,
you been to
because,
Spain?
oh, I love Spain. I go there all the time.
Yay!
Sevilla is just 1 hour driving from the place where I live. So it's amazing. I love Spain, and I've been traveling around Spain for, for a while. I know so many places. I know Madrid, Barcelona,
Oh, that's great. So
Marbella.
you've been here
Yeah,
enough to know the culture really well and the
yeah.
people. My husband was telling me today because I told him, listen, I'm going to have a live session with Anita, and she's a Portuguese teacher, and she's so lovely, and
Thank you.
he's been everywhere. My hubby's been everywhere. So he was saying it's a strange thing about Portuguese people. They always understand us when we speak, but we never understand them.
Yes, I know. It's quite
Why is this happening?
challenging. I think it's because our sounds are a bit lower than the
Juan, look,
Spanish
Juan is from
sounds.
Seville. And La Vegana. I'm from there. It's unbearably boiling. Look what they're
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Happy Jason.
It's
There
unbearably
you
boring.
have
Yeah,
it.
I'm from Sevilla. I love Sevilla, Juan de Toledo. I
Yay!
love Sevilla. I've been to Sevilla more times than I've been to Lisbon, to be honest. Oh my God, I should not say this. Oh, I'm a terrible person. But yeah, I love Sevilla. I love Sevilla. It's one of my favorite cities
So
ever.
why is this happening? What my husband said. Why is this happening? Why can Spanish people understand you? Sorry, the other way around.
The
Why
other way
can
around.
Portuguese people understand Spaniards when they speak, but Spaniards don't understand Portuguese when they speak?
In my point of view, Mrs. A, I think it has to do with the fact that our sounds are a bit lower, more close, especially the vowels. So I think it makes it harder for the Spanish people to understand the Portuguese for that fact. Because, for example, the word friend, amigo, right? A Spanish would say the word amigo like amigo, something like that. They put the intonation higher, right? So when you have to do the other way around, it's harder because it's kind of your brain doesn't recognize it. So it's a bit more challenging if you inverse it to lower than if you inverse it to open sound, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Can you do a test run here? Can you say something in Portuguese? Obviously, I speak Spanish, so maybe I can try and understand it. Don't make it very easy, all right? Don't make it very easy.
Eu gosto muito do meu gato e do meu cão e da minha gatinha também.
Wait a minute. I love my cat and my dog.
E da minha gatinha também.
And my little kitty too.
Bravo!
I said don't make it easy. That was very easy.
Okay.
Try
hoje de manhã.
Sorry,
hoje de manhã.
Again?
Hoje de manhã.
This morning.
Eu fui às compras ao centro comercial.
I went shopping at the mall.
Fantástico. Eu comprei vários objetos para casa.
I bought several objects for home.
Super. E depois eu limpei a casa e também organizei.
And then I cleaned the house.
E também organizei muitas coisas.
And I organized a lot of things.
You are amazing. This is actually hard and I'm speaking fast. That was good.
I understood everything.
Yeah, that's amazing. Super. You are more than right. It's like if you get Scottish or Irish accent. Exactly. You have triple merit. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. But Mrs. A, guys, congratulate Mrs. A. She understood every single thing that I just said in Portuguese.
Yeah, wow. But it's so similar. Like it's very similar to Spanish. There was like nothing I was like, okay, maybe this means no. I understood everything. Well, you made it very easy for me as well.
I know there are there are words that are super different. For example, my knee, I say joelho. In Spanish, I think it's rodilla, correct?
Rodilla, yeah.
So I know there are loads of words that will vary and that will make it harder. And if I speak super fast, like, woo, you get lost in the mayonnaise, like we say, right? But yeah, what's the time in Portugal? Right now, 6:55. I hope that answers your question, Aidan. So 6:55 p.m.
It's an hour earlier than in Spain.
Exactly. So I have a
Fast.
question for you, Mrs. A, if
Oh,
that's okay with you.
let's
What
hear it.
What's the most embarrassing moment that you had as a teacher so far? I like funny stories.
Uh, okay. um. Oh wow. Should I? I don't know if I should say this.
You tell me.
All right. So all right. Okay, I'm gonna say this. So,
Uh-oh.
oh, this is something, right? I've been teaching, of course, I taught English for over 13 years now in Spain, and I worked for several academies. I taught English at the university, so I worked in several places. In one of these places, I'm not gonna name names, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had this boss. I'm gonna give him a name, a fictitious name, Fernando.
Okay.
Say Fernando. And our boss organized a staff meeting with all the teachers. So we were like the morning teachers. So I was there along with maybe 5 others. So the boss comes in and starts speaking, and he farted. Like, he farted hard. That was like, fart is maybe a bit vulgar. He broke wind, if you want to be like super
Oh
cool.
yes,
He broke
exactly.
wind.
More elegant.
Exactly,
He
broke
broke
wind. So he farted like straight up, very, very resounding fart. And obviously, like, you got a room full of talking teachers, and all of a sudden you fart, like
Yes,
my boss farted, and it was enough to silence everyone.
everyone.
So obviously, I could tell that he was getting red and he was getting embarrassed, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." So
you took the blame.
I took
Oh
the blame.
my God.
I
You are so brave. Oh my God, that was amazing. So you took the blame so the poor guy didn't feel embarrassed anymore, right?
But I think obviously because they told me before, like, nobody believed you because we all heard, like, we were there. But I kind of I felt bad for my boss. Like, it was a matter of a split second, right?
Yes,
So I could see him. He farted hard, and then he was getting red, and I could see he was embarrassed, and like, it was like, I'm sorry, guys, sorry.
You are amazing. That is really nice. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I could have your, I don't know, your altruism, if that word exists in English. Altruism? Altruism,
Yeah,
do you understand?
yeah, it exists, yeah.
It's amazing.
I tried. I'm not easily embarrassed, and I don't think it can happen to anyone, right? It's a fart.
Exactly. Yeah,
Get
it's a
over
natural
it.
thing. We're all human beings. Yeah, so yeah. Wow.
Get over it. It's a fart. That's it.
Exactly.
So yeah, at that point in time, I tried to take the blame, but it did not work. But I hope he felt better.
I'm sure everyone laughed, so you kind of relieved the stress in the air, if you know what I mean. Probably it helped.
There were a lot of things in the air.
I was thinking the same. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So there you have it. Did you guys ever take the blame for somebody else's fart?
Oh my gosh. I never did, to be honest with you. I always start laughing like oh my God, yeah. I'm very bad with those situations because I automatically stare at people like, oh, and I can't hide it. I start laughing like, oh my gosh.
Exactly. We can't hold it in. Well, in that particular case, I didn't, because like, I could really see that he was embarrassed. Like, it slipped. It really slipped. It was not intentional at all. So there you have it.
So now I know I can fart around you, that you take the blame.
Yeah, I'm going to take the blame for your fart, sister.
Oh my gosh, it ended up being a fart conversation. I'm sorry, guys, but that was so funny.
You always come up. Like I was with Elena with Linguriosa last week, and we were like the calamities we've spoken about. Incredible.
It's great. They're enjoying it as well. Look, there's Aiden here from Goa saying, even I laugh. Yes, of course. Who wouldn't? It's so funny. Super funny.
Where was the worst place you farted, guys? Since we're at it, let's,
exactly.
Let's share.
Let's share the guilt. Exactly.
That's pretty funny. Let me ask you a question before we move on. What's something you'd love and no one can understand why?
Oh, I always get people laughing at me or saying, oh my gosh, are you serious? Every time I speak to plants and every single animal I just pass by. I don't know. I have this thing. I think I live in a world where all living beings are like one. Since I was a little girl, I'm a crazy plant lady. I have my house full of plants.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's one of my
English,
hobbies.
we say if you're really good with plants and all that, we say you have green fingers. So people who are great at gardening, we say that you have green fingers.
Yes, literally, I do have green fingers because yesterday I was catching nuts. Look at my fingers, horrible. Doesn't come out. It's like ink. But yes, I do grow my own plants. This is something I learned from my granny, so I do speak to the plants, and my friends say I'm crazy.
Look at Liz in the comments. I speak to doors.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That I don't do, but maybe doors are alive as well. Who knows?
Well, maybe you've been missing out.
Maybe I am. But yeah, it's something that my friends are always like, oh, you crazy person. Why do you speak to plants? And I always say, do you think they are so green? Why? And they're like, because you water them and you feed them properly. And I'm like, no, because I give them love. I speak to them.
So what is something you'd normally say to a plant?
Hello, good morning, my beauties. I don't know. Things like that.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Like, oh, are you okay? Look at you. You have a bit of a dry leaf over here. Let me sort that out for you. So I speak to them like I'm speaking to my two cats or my dog. I'm a bit crazy, I know.
Look at that. Look at Liz. If I bump into one, I say sorry. That's nice.
Yeah, with animals, for example.
Hi, Sherry. I'm sorry. Hi, Sherry. I'm saying hello to the people in the comments.
Yes. Aiden says, I speak to animals. So do I. Even to ants on the ground. If I cross the road and there's like some ants there when I walk my dog, I just change my way so I don't interfere in their way. My partner says, what are you doing? And I said, look, they haven't done anything wrong to me. Why should I step on them and kill them? Let me do the other way around. And he's like,
so you have the heart of a hippie.
Probably, I don't know.
For sure. For sure, you don't kill a living thing. You speak to your plants.
Well, I avoid, but yeah.
Juan de Toledo has a question. I have a question for the two of you. What has been the strangest goal anyone has ever had to learn English? Oh my God, that is an amazing question. Or English or Portuguese?
Say again, I didn't hear it. I'm so sorry.
What has been the strangest goal anyone has ever had to learn, in my case, English, in your case, Portuguese? Go.
Well, I cannot say it's strange, but I find it peculiar or beautiful, if you want. But I have a gentleman that always is writing his love letters to a Portuguese lady, and he wants to impress her. He doesn't want to know anything else in Portuguese apart from these beautiful poems or sentences to impress her. So it's kind of challenging. I have to put myself on the skin of a poet, a man who wants to declare his love to a lady. In this case, I think she's a young lady from what he tells me to write down for him. So yeah, I think that's the most peculiar thing, and I find it amazing. Strange, but amazing. Well, maybe not strange. Yeah. What about you, Mrs. A?
Well, I've had a lot of strange requests throughout my life, a lot of them related to love. So I had a student that I was teaching for years, and I was preparing him for an official exam. But at the end of at the end of that academic course, he was preparing to move to the UK. So he wanted to find a job and everything else, right? So before he left, like a month or so before he left, we were still having classes, and he said, "Okay, um, I know you've been my teacher for a long time now. I appreciate you, but I'm hoping to meet a girl, and I want to know what is okay and not okay to say."
Good.
So, yeah, so it was basically telling him what is not okay to say to a woman.
To avoid, yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, a lot of, you would say, oh, but like everybody knows what not to say to a woman. And no, guys, no, it
they
doesn't work
don't.
like that, because we're culturally different, right? We're completely different. So the Spaniards are a lot more direct. I have two videos explaining cultural differences between Spaniards and Canadians, or in general, right? But I was on my first date with my husband, and I asked him, I was thirsty, right? I was thirsty. I didn't say I'm thirsty. I asked him, "Are you thirsty?" And I was expecting, well, he's going to say, "Oh, I could drink something. Let's go have a drink."
Yeah.
Or I was hoping he'd say, "Oh, maybe I'm not thirsty, but are you thirsty?" To which my husband says, to my question, "Are you thirsty?" He says, "No." And like, that was the worst thing. Like, that was the worst thing for me.
Turns us off. Like, what? Like, okay. Like, I was trying to be nice, right? Yeah. I understand.
So a lot of these things are just cultural differences.
Yeah.
Which
is normal for him, but for you, you were expecting something else, something a bit more elegant, because that's your culture. But Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian guys, I do understand that, because Portuguese men are like that as well. They're very, I'm not going to use the word basic, but they go straight to the point. Yes or no. My partner and me, we're together for 15 years now. And sometimes I do struggle with that. And even though I'm Portuguese, but there's some mixture in me that doesn't understand certain parts of these things that these Portuguese or Italian guys or Spanish guys have, which is fine. They go straight to the point. But sometimes I expect a bit more, and it's just like, see. No.
So, like, guys, if just imagine the sentence, "I want to give you wine." Maybe it sounds like an invitation to rape in some places.
Exactly.
I'm serious, right? Because, for example, in the UK, in general, in English-speaking countries, you would say, "May I buy you a drink?" Or you would not come out of nowhere and just say, "Let me give you wine." That would be weird. That would be so weird. Whereas for somebody from Spain who's trying to speak English and like, "Yeah, let me get you a bottle of wine," or whatever, right? We can get lost in translation, and that translation can be interpreted
dangerous sometimes.
Yeah,
it can be dangerous. I do agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. So we have to be very careful when we don't know the person very well yet. In that case, the guy was trying to get to know the lady, right? So it's kind of tricky. And you do need to be careful, guys, if you're watching us and listening to our conversation, on what you say when you approach a lady of a different culture. So, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, approaching anyone. So if you're looking to get yourself a girlfriend or boyfriend, if you're looking to meet somebody romantically abroad, make sure you are 100% aware of the cultural differences. And if not, get yourself a nice teacher, an open-minded teacher
Exactly.
that can explain that for you. It
And
was
can
nice.
guide you.
It was a nice lesson. It
Yeah,
was
exactly.
pretty. Yeah.
Mrs. A, I have a question for you. If you
Oh,
were
hit me.
given a superpower, what would that superpower be?
Okay, listen up, guys, and you're not allowed to copy my answer.
So this
First
is
of
going to
all,
be
no one
interesting.
here is allowed to copy my answer because I know this. I would like to be super lucky. Like, do you know how it is to wake up in the morning and everything you do, and like you have the whole universe working in your favor? Your favorite song is on. You turn on the TV exactly what you want to watch. You play the lottery, you win. You want that person to like you, they do. You want to work less and make more, it happens, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to be spectacularly, magically lucky. And you?
Oh, teletransportation, I guess.
Where would you go?
Oh, I would go to see my mom every single day because she lives far away from me, and my mom is like my favorite human on earth. And yeah, absolutely. She lives in Alentejo Coast, which is around 200 kilometers away from me. So I would
Is
teletransport
that
myself
far?
every single day.
Is
Well,
that
it's
very
just
far?
not very far, but it takes me 2 hours to go and see her and 2 hours to come back. Basically, driving a car, my
Yeah.
car, of course. But yeah, like my dream would be to live near my mom more often. But yeah, so probably if you automatically, my answer would be that one. Of course, that could be a million other things as well, but that is like my top one that I would
But
like
look
to.
how selfless it is. You know, I gave you an answer. I want this for myself, but you gave me an answer that's like for your mom. I want to be close to my mom. I
Yeah.
want to be close to my favorite human, so that's why I like to teleport. That's
Yeah, I love
beautiful.
her so much. I wish she could hear me, but yeah. She knows I love her. I tell her every day still. So
I have no doubt. If you tell your plans, I'm sure you tell your mom. Happy
absolutely.
days. Happy days. If I may, and I have another question for you.
Mm,
This one is unrelated, but you know, since you asked me about the superpower, this one came to mind. If you could have dinner or lunch or a date with a maybe a fictional character of your choice.
okay.
Yeah, the fictional character of your choice. Who would that be and what would you do?
Oof. A woman for sure. There's quite a few women that I do appreciate them, like in our history, and they're all still alive, basically. One of them is Brigitte Bardot. I love Brigitte Bardot. I would love to have dinner with that missus. She's amazing. She's beautiful inside out. We share the same passion for animals, and I think she was like how can I say, amazing on the way she was herself. She was not playing a role to be famous. You know what I mean? She lived her life. She
She was
loved her
true to
man.
herself.
Absolutely. And she didn't care
Yeah.
about other people's opinion. And I like that about people. So
That's
that would be my
nice.
first option. And
Oh my
then,
God, Brigitte Bardot, that's nice.
yeah, I love her to bits. I think she's still alive. She's a fantastic human being. I do think she has done a lot for animals. Unfortunately, it's not very visible, like
No, I
like
think she's very famous.
yeah, she is. Yeah, but it's not very mentioned these days. You know what I mean? Because she's already very old, etc. I think she's around 85 or 86 now. I'm not
Good
quite
on
sure.
her.
Yeah, but I find her beautiful inside out. A great example of what I consider to be a beautiful woman. Not
Look,
just for her looks.
Adriana loves her too.
Yeah. Oh, Adriana, cool. Yeah, she was amazing with animals, with everything she's done for, for awareness, and I find that very important.
That's pretty
Um,
good.
Plus, she was a great model. She was beautiful. Her beauty was very different from the standards of the time, if you know what I mean. So yeah. The other person would probably be not for political reasons, because that is a different story, but
Aiden,
for
I have to stop and say, Aiden, I love your name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Aiden?
say, Aiden, I think.
Aiden.
I love Amália Rodrigues. Oh, Amália Rodrigues, the famous fado singer. Fortunately, she passed away already, Aiden, but she was amazing. There's a lot of beautiful songs that she left for us. Yeah, it was
Really?
so. Yeah.
That's
But
nice.
my second person would be Michelle Obama, because I
I
find
I
her.
felt it in my soul that you were gonna say Michelle Obama. I
I
swear to God, I felt it in my bones, in the deepest corners of me. I felt it.
Probably because I mentioned that would, because no political reasons involved. I don't know.
I
Something
don't know
made.
why, but I felt Michelle Obama coming on.
I love her because she's. How do I say this? She's one of the strongest women that I've ever heard about, to be honest, and I think she's a great influence in the world. For whatever she does, she took advantage, not advantage, but she took this her husband position to do a lot of great things, if you know what I mean. She could
I
simply
think she
be
was very, very graceful in
yeah, yeah,
her role as first lady. She was very
hmm
graceful,
yeah.
very, very
And
graceful.
I do love the job she does behind the cameras as well, like as volunteering and helping girls, little girls, and young ladies as well. I find that amazing, to be honest. So yeah, those would be my two guests. What about you? I'm curious, Mrs. A.
Me, Tony Stark, all the way. Tony Stark.
Yes, it's
I
amazing.
hope you guys know who Tony Stark is. If you don't, I'm sure you do.
You both made my day. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Mr. Badass 04. Oh my gosh, I love your name there, Mr. Badass. You both made my day. Thank you. From Goa,
Look at that.
India. Oh my God. Amor de Goa. Beijinhos para Goa, queridos. With
Beijinhos.
para
Is that
Goa.
Patagoa?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Kisses. Mm.
So yeah, Tony Stark is Iron Man, and he's my favorite. I would love to have a long, in-depth conversation with him about his views on socialism versus communism. I would like to ask him political questions and see how he turns things around. I would love
I
that.
I can see you doing that. You were like telling me that, and I was imagining you
Yeah,
interviewing him and making him questions. So
I
yeah,
ha- I'm,
absolutely.
I have the spirit of a journalist.
Yeah, I feel that.
Truly.
Yeah.
Truly. Well, this was amazing and super fun. Guys,
I
I
loved
want
it.
you all to go follow Anita, and hopefully she's going to motivate all of you to start learning Portuguese. If I have a little recommendation for you guys, and because this is something that you've been asking a lot. I don't recommend learning two languages at the same time. So don't start, if you're starting from level nothing, so don't start with Portuguese and Spanish or Portuguese
Yeah.
and whatever. Don't. So wait
Yeah.
until you're at least a B2 in the first, second language, right? Wait until your grammar is settled and all the basics are settled before you embark on a journey to learn yet another foreign language. So don't start both at the same time. But if you're already at a B2, you can try Portuguese next. I'm sure Anita will love it.
I will help you for sure. I do daily videos, I do daily stories as well. I interact a lot with my followers. Well, I try the most as I can, of course.
That's
because this is
nice.
my biggest passion, you know. I chose my job. The job didn't initially the job chose me, but then I end up choosing my way. So, and here I am. So you can always count on me, guys. So it's been a pleasure with Mrs. A here. I really had a blast. I love it, Mrs. A. Such a pleasure to meet you and
Likewise.
to have this conversation with you. It's been so, so positive, so good. And for all
Guys,
the love that you guys sending us there, it's amazing. My
you've
next
been
language
very
will be Portuguese. Very good, Juan. Juan. I was so happy to hear my name, Cherry, from you. Okay. Super.
happy days. Guys, if you have any questions, now's your time because we are going. I have to go and make dinner. I don't know
Me
how you
too. I'm
guys.
starving.
Oh, what time do you eat? What time do you have dinner over there?
What time? Normally, I would say Portuguese have the dinner around 8 o'clock, 9-ish, more or
All
less.
right. So between
But
8 and 9, I would
mm-hmm.
say here in Spain is between 9 and 10.
And 10, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's wow. It's gonna
Yeah,
it's gonna blow your mind.
yeah.
If you're a giddy, do you have also? I'm curious. Sorry, I have questions.
Go ahead.
So there's a name they have for me. There's a name they have for me. They call me Giddy. Giddy is I think is an English speaker who
Getty? Did I say
Giddy
it
is
well? Getty?
Giddy. Well, I don't say it very well because it has an R. So it's
Okay.
Giddy.
Getty.
So
Did I?
Giddy is like let's say the informal name they've given a foreigner or an English speaker or something like a tourist, right?
Okay, cool.
Do you have that? Do you have like an informal word to describe a foreigner in Portuguese?
Oh, we do.
Giddy. Look, Juan wrote it to you. Giddy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's a foreign of any Occidental. Okay. Here in Portugal, we have a peculiar name for people who come from northern countries, normally England, Scotland, Ireland.
So from English
Even
speaking countries, but like would Canada apply or not?
not really, because we didn't
Not
get
really.
much people from Canada. It's more recent, you know what I mean?
All right.
So we have two different words for that. The first one, I'll write it here. The first one, I used to hear that a lot when I was a teenager. It's oh, sorry. Just 1 minute.
Very
Come
curious.
on.
Come on.
Comes. You know why? Because the English people say, come on, like
Come
so,
on.
right?
So
So
that would be
people,
a come on.
yes,
Come on.
exactly.
That's nice. So I think it applies to every English speaker, right? It can be from like North
Absolutely.
America
Yeah.
as well. A
So,
come
for
on.
example, if the beach is crowded of tourists, we say, oh, a praia está cheia de camões. So the beach,
So
la
there are many
playa,
come ons on the
at
beach.
the beach.
Oh my
Exactly.
God. Amazing.
We,
What's the other word?
oh my gosh, you're gonna laugh with this one. The other one is beef. Beef for
Beef.
us is a steak. You know why? Because people, the tourists, they come super white, but you know they want to get brown and tan super fast. So say they go in the sun, and then they get super red, like a steak, like you know a raw condition. You know what I mean? So we call them
My,
steaks, beefish. Yeah. Oh my god.
how funny is that? I love it. So you would call us a come on or a beef? How do you pronounce
Exatamente.
it? Beef?
Beef.
Beef.
Hmm.
Beef.
Like the English beef, like from, you know, the steak from same word. Oh my God. So that's what Portuguese people call their foreigners. Yeah. Now you know.
I wish I could. I wish it would be mutual. I have nothing to tell you. I'm not aware of a word that can describe Portuguese people.
Oh, but we have our own name, Tugas.
Oh, and what is that?
Tugas. Portugal, the word Portugal has
Tuga.
tuga there, right? So we
Yeah.
use the ending of the word and we created these nicknames. Oh, é tuga. It's a tuga, so it's a Portuguese person.
Tuga. And
Yeah.
Tuga, is it a diminutive or not?
See, it comes from Portugal, right? The word, the country. So if you have Portugal, and if you look at the second syllable and the third syllable together, it creates the word tuga, right? So there you go.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's very cool.
So I'm more than tuga. Yeah.
I
Oh my
love it.
gosh.
So guys, what a wonderful cultural experience this was. I love it. Thank you all for being here. I'm so excited. Anita, when I upload this on YouTube, I'm going to make sure I add your channel and I make it pretty. All right.
Super. My
So,
gosh.
guys,
Obrigada.
if you want to learn Portuguese, check out her channel. She's very active on Instagram and now on YouTube.
Obrigada. Obrigada. Thank you so much to you and to
Obrigada.
everyone.
And
Gracias. Obrigada.
your come on beef is going to make lunch, dinner. Sorry.
Dinner. Bom apetite, my dear. Beijinhos a todos. Tchau, tchau.
Bye.
Tchau.